Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Movement Against Dowry podcast. Good evening to our viewers tuning in from Bangladesh, and also good afternoon to those watching from UK and around the world. I am your host, Sukanto Barman. I am a youth advocate for the MAD platform, and I also proudly serve as a community member of the Common Future Conservations Conversations at Chatham House. For those who are joining first time in the MAD platform, so MAD is a platform that is working to set a dowry-free ground for each girl. So, and we firmly believe that to change the society, we must have to build women and girl leadership. So that's why uh, our today's topic is empowering women, health, and education first. To to dive into the dive, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome a phenomenal guest. Joining us is Boning Ngueko Nervis. He is the president of African Global Health and Education. Boning is highly accomplished biochemist and a prestigious Chevening Scholar, currently pursuing his master's degree in cancer molecular biology and therapeutics at the University of Leicester in the UK. His dedication is outstanding that he was named for Global Master Student of the Year 2025. A multiple award winner in leadership, he is also a Future Conservations Committee member at Chatham House, working alongside the changemaker to discuss ideas. Boning, is it? It is an absolute honor to have you on the MAD platform. Welcome to the show, and how are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, Barman. And it's a great opportunity for me to talk to young ladies and also to hear the good works that you're doing within your community. Like you rightly said, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
So, okay, thank you. So basically, I know about yourself, okay? So,
Yeah.
but can you share your introduction part to our audience?
Okay, thank you so much. So, Barman rightly said, he invited me to discuss on a crucial topic today, which is women empowerment through education and health, if I'm rightly correct. And to know that education in our society today happen to be like a misconception about how we value the degree we study and also how we can put it into practice. And the major challenge that we've observed within the society is that less economically developed countries tend to see education as a aspect of just having a degree and graduating from a university or from a secondary school. And after that, doors are going to be open to you, but they forget about the aspect of empowering the youth to become innovators and to become change makers and aligning it with the perspective of women within our society because I'm a feminist and I'm someone that I love seeing women being successful and striving in aspect of career, in aspect of leadership, and also in aspect of health, and aligning it with the movement against dowry. First of all, we need to understand that a woman turns to be like an invaluable resource that is existing within our planet. And we've seen that in systems where women turn to have the position of leadership, empathy, love, and sustainability often transits and it often exists. And that is why there is a need for many women to be empowered within the aspect of education. And how can women be empowered within the aspect of education? We can only do this through encouraging them and through giving them the platform, the environment, and the resources for them to be able to communicate their ideas, to be able to share their resources, and to be able to give the contributions that others have been failing within the status quo. That is why our organization also, which is working towards youth empowerment, prioritizes women in order for them to be included in decision making and also building resources. Now, one of the strategies we think that it's very effective and also very primordial in order for these women to succeed is to be able to like have women, first of all, acknowledging the fact that they are limitless. That is, they have the power, they have the ability, and they have the autonomy that it takes to become the leaders and the voices of tomorrow. I'm going to quote, sorry, some of my famous writers. I'm sorry, I'm just going to turn my cameras or like my camera on. I'm going to quote like one of my most beautiful writer, which is Eleanor Roosevelt. Eleanor Roosevelt says, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." It means if you have a dream and you don't believe in it, it means that dream is not going to come into existence. But once you believe in your dream, and once you know that, okay, I am capable, I am having the ability to be able to lead, to be able to be a woman's voice, to be able to stand and talk. That is when you start seeing things working in alignment. And also, if we know the famous president of the United States, His Excellency Barack Obama said, "We didn't come to fear the future, but we came to make it." If the society has compelled you or women to believe that their place is meant just to be within the kitchen, or their place is meant just to be within the household and taking care of the children. It's a false misconception that we need to eliminate into today's society. We want to see women that can strive. We want to see women that can stand and that can defend their values and that can talk for themselves. And aside from education, we also want a community that is healthy. How can a community strive in health and in education? After educating the women, after informing them that they have the ability, they have the capability, we need to be able to like leverage on the resources that are already available, building those platforms and also sharing our ideas. As a woman, you should be able to like have community leadership projects, have uh, a conception of what you want for yourself. It's true that women have been marginalized, women have been underlooked, and women have been seen like just entities that are going to stay within the house and they cannot contribute globally. But I believe that our women, particularly from Bangladesh, can be able to contribute to this international panels, and you can only contribute to these international panels if you are able to sit down and bring conceptual ideas. It is okay to sit and say, okay, society does not want us to work, society does not want us to contribute, but society will only see your value, we only see your importance when you've built the skills, when you've acquired the knowledge, and when you've been able to stand and talk for yourself. There is social media out there today. You can become a poetic activist, writing a lot of motivational stories to other young women to believe in themselves, to be able to stand and talk for themselves. The next thing is creating educative content. You might not have the resources to mobilize people together, but you can create a platform where young ladies can be able to follow you, can be able to listen to you, and can be able to like empower themselves through those informations or those stories you're sharing outside there. And also, I believe in the power of diction and also the power of studying. As a young girl, as a young woman who is aspiring to be a leader, you need to be someone that has a role model. Have someone that has been doing something and that has been contributing meaningfully to his own community. We have so many great ladies today. I'm going to use a very pertinent example, Malala. Malala didn't have the resources, but she stood for the value that she was a woman, and she stood for the value of education. And she said education is an invaluable tool. And thanks to her words, and thanks to her act, even though she never had the resources, the financial resources, the physical resources, but her words were very powerful to give her the platform where she can stand today. So, young ladies listening to us outside there today from Bangladesh, you need to believe in yourself. You need to start going against those traditional conception that you are incapable, but start putting the capability through you and start building yourself. Start joining communities like this one, sharing your voice, listening to others and contributing meaningfully to the sustainability of it, and also trying to network and learn from other persons. I think that is like a brief introduction. Like I can really like talk and talk and talk if I have a frame. Yeah, Barman.
So, okay, so thank you because in your introduction part, you delivered all kind of things that we need for our girls and also our youth. So basically, so we are also trying to build similar kind of mentality to our girls and women. So you said many things. You said about so Malala and also how she contributed in the world just because of education. So and we also know that, so you also the president of an organization. So basically how you are doing multiple tasks within a single day, because right now you were a Chevening scholar, you have a schedule to to do class, and also you are maintaining a very good leadership role in the UK and also in your own country. So how you are actually you are balancing in your own position, and how you are actually doing this basically.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Actually, like it's a question I love, like, and I've been receiving it so many times. I remember, like, in different interviews, like when I go for interviews, they're like, "How do you manage so many things at the same time?" First of all, I'm going to talk about the spirit of team building. Team building is very important. You can be a leader, but when you don't have people that believe in your ideas and that believe in what you are able, like you want to transmit outside there, it is very difficult for you to work along. So team building is very important. You need to have at least two or three people that believe in you, that share similar perspectives as you, that can be able to like promote your work even when you're not there. And the next thing that I'm going to enlighten more on is what the spirit of self-belief. The greatest challenge that most people face today is not the unavailability of resources, it's not the unavailability of tools, but to me, I believe it's an aspect of imposter syndrome. People feel like I cannot do it. The person that is doing it is because he's in the UK. The opportunities are there. So he can do just few efforts and the opportunities are going to be knocking on his door, which I believe it's a syndrome that is affecting so many people outside. I want to encourage each person that self-belief is very important. No one is going to like encourage you the way you do it to yourself. You are the one that know what you want and you are the one that know how you can go about it. So you need to be able to dictate yourself that every single morning when I get up, I have a diary where I insert all my priorities. Prioritization. I am the president of the African Global Health and Education. I have a campaign that I'm trying to like move on within this month. How do I go about it? Priorities. Write it down, put the note of every single thing you want to execute within that month, and your team is going to help you execute it. So long as you've been able to like write it down, you can have follow up on where there are gaps, on where some things have not been executed properly. You can input your ideas. I've spoken about prioritization. I've spoken about team building, and also I'm going to talk about problem solving, which is very important. As a leader, you should be able to have the skills of solving problems. You shouldn't just listen to issues in one-sided, but you should be able to have an equilibrium of, okay, if A failed to do a task, then B succeeded to do a task. Is B more efficient than A? No, you need to be able to understand why A didn't do it effectively, but B did it effectively. It could be as a result of you, the leader, having poor communication skills. You weren't able to communicate the task effectively to both teams. So, problem solving is very important. And if there is a misconception within the team or there is a misunderstanding, as a leader, you should be able to listen to both parties so that you can be able to decipher who amongst this person has the highest burden in terms of this misunderstanding and how can we approach it. Listening to everybody's contribution is very important. As a leader, you shouldn't just dictate policies, but you should be able to reflect that as an example and you should be able to work along with your team so all of those can be handled effectively. The next thing I'm going to say is the aspect of reading. Reading is very important. I read a lot of leadership books that helped me to understand how to manage a lot of tasks. The thing is, society has it that, okay, you are a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But I have my different conception about life. I believe that I can do so many things at the same time because when I do one thing at a time, it makes it become boring. That is just my ideology, and that is what I've grown to understand, and it works perfectly well for me. So I spoke of self-belief because at the end, at the level of self-belief, you need to also know who you are. I know that I can do so many things at the same time, but there are people that are very perfect in doing one thing at a time, and they are known for what they do at a time. But me, I do so many things at a time, but I'm known for those different things at a time. So you need to be able to understand who you are clearly. And the way you can understand who you are clearly is reading a lot of books. We have so many successful people that have written things about themselves. Like we have John Maxwell. John Maxwell wrote the book 360-Degree Leadership. 360-Degree Leadership teaches you how to be a leader from the bottom to the top. He tells you that the success of an organization doesn't depend on the person that is above, but depend on those that are below. So if you value those that are below, your organization is going to excel effectively well. Let me use for instance, okay, I am the CEO of McDonald's. I produce a lot of food and I sell it to people within the community. But the leader in my organization is not me, McDonald, who is the CEO. They are the consumers. If my consumers don't find my product satisfying enough, they are going to go to other companies, and now my organization is going to shrink. That is the first person that has decision making within my organization. So I need to make sure I satisfy my consumers first. The next thing in the organization are those that are working within the factory and in the sub department. I need to make sure I satisfy them because if there is a loophole amongst them, my organization is going to be distorted. There are going to be a lot of mixed information and productivity is going to decline, demand is going to increase, but supply is going to reduce. So you see, if I have distorted, okay, I fix the problem of the consumer, I fail to fix the problem of the sub leaders, that is the organization still failing. So I need to be able to have a clear emotional intelligence on how I can manage my team effectively well in all those sub departments. Then the next thing that comes in having a board of directors. In every single organization you work with, you should have a board like a board of directors and also advisors. You cannot work independently. We have people that have been working in those domains for years. If I want to be a successful person within the biotech industry, I want to be like a successful person in public health or in policy making. I need to be able to know someone that has a vast or a longevity of experience, maybe 10, 20, who can tell me that, okay, this is how I started, these are the challenges I faced, and this is how I overcame it, and this is what you can encounter along the way, and this is how you should be able to tackle it. So that when you encounter those challenges, you shouldn't be like a novice within that particular challenge, but you should already have a pre prepared mindset on how to go about it. So, in all, I'm going to say a successful leader like myself and yourself, we should be able to prioritize self belief, problem solving skills, team building, and also reading mentorship. Those are the five components I'm going to like say a good leader should be able to like exemplify in his aspect of leadership.
So you were not a very good student also, but also you were a good speaker. So you said many things. So you said
Yeah,
about how I became, how a person became a good leader. So it's like that he or she need to be a problem solver, need to read so many books about,
yeah,
not so many books, but the quality books about the leadership, and also the decision making is playing an important role. And also we need to, you said about to build up team build
yeah.
up is also a key role to success in leadership. So that's very good. And also basically I knew about the Chevening scholarship. So it's a very competitive and prestigious scholarship of the UK government. Okay, so from your country, so how you think about to achieve it, and how your path was, so before achieving this prestigious scholarship.
Okay, to be honest, I didn't have like the beauty of experience that Chevening wanted. I had just 2 years of working experience before applying for Chevening. I just graduated with my bachelor's degree, and I just like submitted a scholarship application for Chevening, and I was invited for interview. And I went for the interview. They were like, "You're too young. You're not even up to like the age cutoff for Chevening. How did you get here?" So I'm just like going to give a brief story of how I succeeded to like win the Chevening scholarship and other successful scholarship, and why I choose Chevening over those other scholarships. The first thing, like I said, is Malala didn't have the resources, but she believed in herself and she used education as a voice to be able to get where she is today. So what happened to me is when I was in the university, I've always questioned myself. I'm studying biochemistry. There is someone in Harvard studying biochemistry. There is someone in Stanford studying biochemistry. There is someone in India. In so many countries, there are millions of people studying biochemistry. How different am I from those other people? I'm not different from them with the good grades I'm producing in class. I'm not different from them with the practicals I'm doing in the laboratory. I can only be different from them if I'm creating value within my community. If I'm making something that they can call me, that I'm creating impact. I'm building a community empowerment initiative. So I went about it like the first thing I did was like joining youth-led organization. If you know Chevening, you know that most Cheveners are people that have a massive work experience of 5 years work of experience. They've worked with NGOs, they've worked with government bodies, they have been teachers, they have been doctors, but I was just a university graduate. So the secret was like in my university days, I didn't just focus in going into the classroom, copying notes, and coming back home and sleeping and studying and going to write exams, having the perfect grades. I made sure I joined youth-led organizations. And in those youth-led organizations, I didn't just join to like take part in their campaign and sit and snap pictures and post online. I made sure I had an active voice within that organization. If the president of the organization had a task to execute and he wasn't effective, I made sure I take that task, I lead a team of people, and we make it effectively. The accreditation and the accolade goes to the organization, and I also have a contribution I've made within the organization for the organization to gain its success. Within this challenge, I started seeing myself growing my personality, becoming the leader in the organization, and being proposed to become the president of my country's national university, like all the universities in my country. I was the president. I won fellowships to travel out of the country, represent my university, and also I was opportune to like meet the ambassador of the UK within my country to discuss on youth empowerment initiative and how we can be able to leverage on the minimal resources we have to empower the youth, and also organizing health initiative within my aspect. I'm a biochemist. My aim is to be able to solve societal problems. So I organized health initiative where I partnered with organizations that had the physical resources. I had the ideas, I have the projects, but I never had the resources. So I had to partner with these organizations to organize like the World Malaria Day. And trust me, we won the very first country to win the International Keystone Award, which is an award that is given to youth-led organization. It is thanks to that, and I was nominated as like the Global Student of the Year in that stuff. So with all this experience and all of those things, which I was able to do it in just 2 years, it didn't take me 5 years. It took me just 2 years to understand that there is a gap in my community. So the first thing I did, the first point the listener should be able to take note of is that you are a student studying something in your country, but there are other people in different countries studying that. So, how different are you from those other people? That is the first thing you should be able to ask yourself as a question. The next thing you are supposed to do is identify a gap. If you want to apply for Chevening scholarship, you should be able to know that, okay, in my country, this is what the UK government is interested in. In my country, the UK government is interested in climate change, is interested in trade and resource mobilization, is interested in security. These are the three key areas where my country is interested in. So in every single application I'm doing, be it in health, I'm applying for something in health, I should be able to direct my health initiative to a climate sustainability aspect, to a economic development aspect, and also to a security inclined perspective. So I had to like direct my application to meet these key thematics so that when someone is reading my application, should know that okay, I understand what the UK government is doing in my country and how I can be able to contribute. And remember, contribution is not 100% change that you're going to come back home and do 100% change, remove everybody from the government body, remove all the security officers, or remove all the unqualified doctors from the hospital. No, change is as 1% as it is a change. Just what you're doing today, it's a great initiative to empower women, which other people have not been able to do it. The fact that you're doing it, it means you're different, you're distinct, and you can be identified for that by resource mobilizers or funders. That is the next thing. Once you've identified what the UK government is interested in your country, the next thing is you should be able to know what you want to go and study. What do I want to go and study? Initially, I was a biochemist, but how did I bring cancer into biochemistry? Because I had a great observation. Less economically developed countries like my country, Cameroon, happen to be one of the countries that suffer a lot from diseases like malaria, onchocerciasis, and cholera. So how can I be able to solve a problem that is not related to this story? The thing I observe is there is little or no facility that is attributed to people that suffer from cancer. There is no statistics for cancer within my country. So there is a need for someone to be able to go out there, gain the skills, gain the resources, and come back and leverage on those with the network I've built in the UK and also with a network within the Chevening. I can be able to establish something that can inform the government at least, even if I can give a data of 10 persons suffering from cancer every year and how we've been able to contribute to solve this problem of cancer. That is very important. So I've identified what I want to study in the UK and I've identified what the UK is doing in my country, and also I've been able to like solve a societal problem within my limited resources. The next thing is apply to the Chevening. Apply. And Chevening has four essay parts. It has the leadership, it has networking like you are already doing it. You're already building effective network. You're using your network with me to organize an event which brings about so many people to listen to us. That is effective networking. Networking is not about who you know, but it's about how you make use of that person you know, and also how you contribute to that person you know's initiative and impact, which you're already doing it, and you're a great candidate for Chevening. The next thing is study in the UK. Why do you want to study in the UK? Why the UK and not other universities and not other countries? I choose the UK because the UK is renowned globally in terms of its certification, in terms of its university ranking. The UK outranks almost all other universities globally. That is why I choose the UK. And also because masters in the UK is 1 year. Very few countries give a 1 year master's. I don't want to spend 2 years studying and studying and studying and studying. I want to spend 1 year with great impact, learning skills, and that 1 year of my life should be able to contribute so that the next year I should be anticipating on how I can affect that change and gain more skills. So that is it. So I also choose Chevening over other scholarships like Erasmus Mundus and Fulbright because I see Chevening as an invaluable tool because the Prime Minister of my country is a Chevening Scholar, and we have so many great personalities in my countries that are Chevening alumni, which I'm going to leverage on that resource to build my empire and to build like my own community. So that's basically like
So
what
it's like that.
Chevening.
It's like that. It's like that. Now your prime minister is your alumni or your senior.
Yeah, 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 very true. Yeah, we even chat on
It's a
different.
great achievement, I think, because
Yeah, yeah,
we can say that he's also the alumni of Chevening, and you can easily so you can, I think you can reach out to him. So
yeah,
as compared to the others, you can easily reach out to him as compared to the others, right?
yeah.
So and also, so you establish now you were the president, okay? So how you connect health and education in your
Okay,
leadership position? So how you thought, or how or what changes you want to bring in your society by education and health?
okay. Thank you so much for that question. I believe like that's one of like the most challenging question I'm going to answer today. Okay, I'm a health activist. I'm an education activist. To me, there is no need to have sustainable development goal number three and sustainable development goal number four because they are interchangeable and they run in uniform direction. Let me explain it in two ways. Okay, when we talk about a society being sustainable and a society building impact and building resources and being strong, I would take for instance China. China had the mineral resources, China had the population, but how was China able to build what it is today? China was able to build that because it had to leverage on education. Education is an invaluable tool to every single community, especially the developed countries. Most underdeveloped countries tend to believe that, okay, we have resources, we have the mineral resources. The Western countries are coming and stealing from us. I think it's a problematic analogy that we need to dilute within our society. We need to start seeing ourselves as like at people like have potentials. We need to build the transformational skills. We should not be exporting our products, but we should be transforming it to finished goods that can be sold at prices that outranks the international market. But now, what these less economically developed countries do is that they sell raw materials to most developed countries. They transform maybe their cobalt, their uranium, and everything to iPhones and everything, which are costly and expensive. And that is as a result of the fact that the communities are often uneducated, they are not informed. UNESCO 2021 says that about 70% of sub-Saharan African young persons lack critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to look at things beyond the status quo. If they tell me that something is green, I should be able to question that why is this thing green? How did it become green? And how can I even modify the color to be more appealing? That is thanks to the power of education. Because if you read, because if you study, because if you learn and you network and collaborate with other educators to be able to solve societal problems, that is one aspect of it. But an educated community without a manpower, without the physical capability to be able to like build those resources is problematic. That is why we need to also equip our communities with health awareness. We need to teach them on how to take care of themselves, on how to feed, and the kind of treatment they have to take. We leverage on that to be able to tell them that, okay, we organize malaria campaigns, we leverage on our own resources to like educate you that your environment needs to be clean in order for you to prevent malaria. You need to drink clean water in order for you to prevent cholera. You need to be able to like do all of this in order for you to be healthy. So we are not just doing it by words, but we are also doing it by action. We organize seminars, campaigns, both in the educational sector and also in the health department. Our organization is structured in two phases. We have a director of education and we have a director of health. So both of which works coherently, but in different sectors. In aspect of education, what we focus on is building the young persons. The old ones are already there. I consider myself as an old person because I've already skipped secondary school. We need to start building education from the base. We should tell a student that it is not about medicine. You're going to the university. The white collar job is not the only thing that is going to save you tomorrow. Joining politics is not the only thing that is going to save you tomorrow. We have other jobs, we have other things. We are also encouraging these students to join vocational training centers to be able to build skills. We go to these secondary schools, we organize seminars with them, we teach them on how to leverage on resources that are found online. We have so many youth parents in Africa, in Asia that don't know how to use LinkedIn. That is LinkedIn is a platform for professionalism. We are teaching them on how to make use of those tools. We are creating a platform where a student in Bangladesh, a student in Cameroon can be able to interact with a student in the United Kingdom to ask him about what is so special about their modules and how do they relate what they study in school to the industry, so that that child within that local or that limited resource can be able to use that perspective to redesign his career idea, to redesign his purpose. In the aspect of health, we organize seminars in health where we go to community health centers. We partner like with the Ministry of Health in my country. We partner with other organizations like the United Nations in my country. And we also have five member countries that are joining us, like Uganda, Mali, South Africa, Zimbabwe, where what we do is we partner with these people, we organize community initiative where we do free screening of diseases, we give the drugs to these people, and we also do follow up to see how regular they are making use of it. So we are empowering them in terms of education and also building the manpower that is they should be healthy to reason to solve this problem. So that is how we relate education and health together.
It's a very unique job you have did basically. So during your study life in your university and your own country. So uh, if I share some details about my area, basically in Bangladesh, what's the culture right now? So basically, why the Movement Against Dowry platform is working to set a dowry-free ground. So in my country, we are also the low incoming country. So, but so I have seen in the so basically I live in a remote area. So it's the northern part of Bangladesh. So I have seen here the girls are not in leadership position. So basically, they never think them in case of political position. So they never fight in the election, and also just they're educating. Not all the girls are getting the equal rights in education. Only the girls which father and which parent is educated, they are getting the access of education. Here the literacy rate is very lower, around 50%, below 50%. And also the dowry rate basically, or the child marriage rate is around 69%. So what do you think about, so how can we develop the situation for the women in my area from your experience? Can you share your experience or idea, or how can we work to resolve that problems?
Okay, thank you so much. So the first thing is to first of all reduce that, like remove the ideology of the dowry within the community. We understand that it's a tradition, it is something that has been existing. But in order for women to become independent or to be able to reason themselves, we need to be able to like bring them together. You need to first of all have a platform where these women like they come together, because there is what they call transmitted information. If I tell you that okay, uh, A plus B is equals to AB, you will go to like the next person who has never been to school and say that okay, A plus B is equals to BA. It is the same thing, but in his head he sees it differently. So it's a problem of information that is lacking within those women. You need to be able to like create a community, which you've already done, and bringing these women together, educating them on how they can be able to become invaluable within the community and how they can be able to build skills. It is one thing bringing them together, it is another thing convincing them, it is another thing giving them the platform to talk, because there is a kind of like a misogyny within the society. The people feel like, oh, women are not able to do things that men are doing, which for me, I think it is one of the worst misconception that society has created. Women are more than capable. Every single place where you've seen a woman being a leader, there have been tremendous changes that have occurred in those places. And I stand as one person that defends women value. So bringing those women together, like you already have an organization and a platform, the next thing is to be able to like have educative session with them, talk to these women, quote examples. There is Malala, there is Michelle Obama. There are so many women outside there that are doing great things. You women in Bangladesh, you can be able to contribute better. You can be able to like build resources that are invaluable. The next thing is bringing people that have skills. Identify people within the community that have skills. When you bring these women together, you will talk to them. But the only thing that is going to change them is how they can be able to make use of their hands, make use of their minds to be able to like produce something that the community can value them for that. I'm going to use an example of a friend of mine who wanted to become a filmmaker, but her family wanted her to become a medical doctor. She went to the university, she studied for 2 years after passing her medicine exam, studied for 2 years. She had her dream of becoming a filmmaker. She didn't know how to go about it. The first thing she did was she took her phone every single day. She would record a movie of herself, a fairy tale, post it online, and people were liking her videos, people were enjoying the content she was creating while executing what her parents were saying that she should be doing. The next thing she did is, after she has built a community of people that believe in her, because it is one thing to like have an idea, it's another thing for people to believe in what you have as an idea. So she already prepared herself by creating that platform where people were watching her short movies that she was producing. The next thing was to do what? Join community initiatives. Encourage these women to join community initiatives. She became like the president of the Commonwealth in our region, where she led the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth also gave her the opportunity to network with people of value, to meet people that could help her to escape her current reality of being a medical doctor. After when she did that, she met a very famous filmmaker. Thanks to the network she built, she was able to produce her very first documentary film with just her phone. That made her to win a National Geographic grant, a grant from the National Geographic. And today, as I'm talking, she's no more studying medicine. She's currently pursuing her dream as a documentary filmmaker. So it is one thing to believe, it is another thing to build value. So you need to start also by empowering yourself as a woman. You need to start by building skills, building values which community can be able to like relate to you. I always tell people that the society we live in is very how can I put it? It is very unfair. There is a lot of bias that exists because those that are rich are having a greater chances of becoming richer, are having a greater chances of going to like the most luxurious schools. But the poor have to build invaluable skills. You need to have skills that the government, the community cannot do without you. And one of those skills is communication. Be able to talk eloquently, be able to like stand for your words, be able to inform on policy making and be decisive. Don't be a follower of what has been existing. The past is there to inform us, but the future it's coming for us to live in. And you can only build that future if you start changing the present. If you don't change the present, then the future is not going to be built. So I think that is how we can kind of like empowering those women, bringing them together, informing them, and also training them. We could go maybe like a monthly session, teaching them on how to make liquid soap, teaching them on how to talk on public, teaching them on how to read, teaching them on how to like tease and sew, teaching them all these things will empower them to become independent also, because it's also an issue of independence. Most women are restricted from doing activities. So if you can be able to like train these women to be able to become invaluable to the community, they should be able to say, okay, there is a certain Salama or Shahab who is somewhere, she is sewing dresses and she's selling. That is a woman that everyone in the community will respect. They cannot respect you only when you talk. They can respect you when they see actions. So I think that is a brief way I think that can be solving.
Yes, the solutions you cite to in your discussion. So I have seen a lot of them because basically day by day I really encouraging our girls. It's a platform led by the girls, but
Yeah,
this platform is yes. So most of them are girls, but so all of them, the president is girl, the general secretary and the organizing secretary and the finance secretary, all of them they are girls. But so in case of when I'm inviting a guest, a foreign guest, basically, we have a problem of speaking in English. So I am not also good, but I am trying. Okay.
yeah,
So in, in that case, so I found them the girls didn't want to come in leadership position, but day by day the situation is changing right now. They are now discussing in their own position, and they are saying that we can do a seminar in our area, and we can travel a village, and also we can counsel the people in that village. So in that way, day by day is changing right now. So before we started that organization around 1 year ago, okay, or 10 or 11th month, but within 11th month we have reached so many peoples, and day by day in so we have done around 10 talk show. Today is the 11th one. So our girls are improving actually in case of speaking, in case of leadership, and also in case of policy making. So with the help of our guest and also the other parts. So that's a very encouraging point. But if you say to our girls, basically who are in our leadership position in that organization, what do you want to say for them? So right now they are living on a remote area, but I am personally wanting that someone will be a Chevening scholar, someone will be a top scholarship holder of the world. Okay, so what will they for achieving this,
Okay,
the
what
top
can
world class scholarships?
okay, how can these ladies achieve the Chevening scholarship?
Not the Chevening, the other opportunities also, because there is many opportunities for the girl who are in the leadership position, who changes in their society through their ideas. So in that position,
Okay, so
how
the
they actually
easiest.
grab different roles or
Okay,
different scholarships.
okay. So in order for the ladies to win scholarship, first of all, I want to like tell the ladies that there is a place for them in education, there is a place for them in STEMs, and there is a place for them in every single room they find themselves. They shouldn't feel intimidated. They shouldn't feel less of themselves. They are able to do every single thing. It's just for them to believe in themselves. That is a word I've been using entirely. And in every single scholarship application, at least 45% of the majority are always ladies that the scholarship is going to be given to them. So the major thing that is going to help them to be able to win a scholarship, the first thing you need to understand what the organization wants, what the organization wants. It is one thing to identify a scholarship, it is one thing to identify a problem, it is another thing to know what that organization wants. Like, for instance, the United Nations have different departments. It has a department on natural resources, it has a department for young people, it has a department on health, it has a department of education. So as a young person, when you are applying for a program, you should be able to know that, okay, these are the eligibility criteria that the program wants. Erasmus Mundus scholarship wants me to be able to like study in 6 different countries. How am I going to target my application to meet these 6 different countries requirement? The next thing is know the materials you have already. You've graduated from the university, you need to submit a degree, you need to submit a transcript, you need a recommendation letter. Who can write your recommendation letter? It's very important. Someone that can write on your behalf that, okay, I know this young lady, she has been doing a lot of great works, and if you give her this platform, she's going to do excellently well because she has had limited resources and she has been able to like leverage on them and build impact. So she needs just this opportunity to be able to be a great person. So have your recommendation on ground. The next thing is identify how to write a motivation letter, how to write a leadership essay or an essay in general, how to write a statement of purpose, and how to write a cover letter. A motivation letter could be that, okay, what is motivating you wanting to come and study for a Commonwealth scholarship? What is motivating you for you wanting to come and study an Erasmus Mundus scholarship? That is a motivation letter, something that is pushing you. It could be that in my community, I lost my elder brother to liver cancer. And that is why I've had that urge to study cancer because I want to be able to help other people that are suffering from cancer. That is my strongest motivation. That is the thing that is giving me the drive. And that is why I want to do it. The statement of purpose is like, what will that particular program do to you and what are you bringing into that program? I am coming to study in the United Kingdom because there are so many companies in biotech where I can be able to network with these companies. I can meet resource people. I can study hands-on and I can see the equipment physically. The next thing is what I'm bringing to that platform is I have leadership skills, I have communication skills, I have team building skills, and I have all of these skills which are invaluable. And also, you need to know how to relate all of this together. There is a cover letter. A cover letter is just a summary of your CV in an essay format. Your CV in an essay format is a singular page write up where you talk about your who you are, what you're currently doing and what you've achieved with what you're currently doing, why you want that particular position, and why you are the ideal candidate for that particular position. A maximum of 3 paragraphs for your cover letter. The next thing is have a CV. You could have a general CV. I have two kinds of CV. I have a CV like an academic CV, and I also have a leadership CV. When I'm applying for a program that requires academics, I submit my academic CV because researchers, funders, industry want to see what I've been able to contribute in science. They don't care about my leadership. They don't care about what I did in leadership or I solved so many problems, blah, blah, blah. They don't care about it. They care about my research experience, about what I've been able to contribute in that research. Now, in terms of leadership, be able to talk about organizations you've worked for. You're currently a Common House Conservative Fellow. That is a leadership experience. You are the leader with the Movement Against Dowry. That is a leadership experience. So you should have your leadership and your academic CV. And this applies to all kinds of scholarships and programs you are applying for globally. These are the major requirements you need. And the next thing is mentorship is important. If you know someone that has won a scholarship, write to that person to guide you along the process for application because the experience that person has will facilitate you and helps to prevent snitching mistakes that can make you miss out the scholarship.
So, okay. So all the things I have noted because I will share with my mates, teammates, basically try to encourage them. So it's a great honor for me that I can learn from you also. So it's a great opportunity for our girls and also our youths. So in my area, so I have seen that basically the dowry practices are more in case of the educated youths. So how the dowry is practiced in my country, it's like that. The girls need to be pay money before the marriage, okay, or before the marriage ceremony. So in that case, I have seen that the person who has a good job and basically the government job, they're taking large amount of dowry. So what can you say to them according to your country and also the culture of the United Kingdom? So basically, we are trying to change their mentality that women have the equal rights and you need to respect the women. But we couldn't solve that problem because they are taking large amount of dowry, and this amount of dowry are now creating pressure to the other girls also. So what do you say to them?
So if I get you well, the men are the ones paying the dowry or the women are the ones paying?
So once again,
Who pays the dowry? Is it the woman or the man?
so okay, so the father of the girls need to pay dowry to the boys.
Oh wow, this is really interesting. It's a very difficult question to answer. Like it is so difficult. But for me,
Because
I
it's forbidden in our government law. So
yeah,
there is rules for the boys that they couldn't share any kind of dowry, or they couldn't take any kind of dowry. But
yeah,
after the rules, the government job holders are taking large amount of dowry. So I can say an example. It's about $22,000. So I know about information about a marriage ceremony. Okay, so where the boys is taking 22,000 USD dollar as a dowry, but so not all the parents of the girls are not well list, but it creates a huge pressure to the other girls.
yeah.
So in that case, what do you say to them?
To me, I believe I'm going to talk like in a neutral perspective. It's first of all very challenging and it's so difficult. But the only thing I'll have to tell the girls is like you know who you are, you know the value you have, and you know what you want for yourself. Let what other people are doing not dictate your personality, not dictate your decision making and what you're intending to have. You should be able to like live according to your expectation. But you should be able to aim high and you shouldn't be pressured by what another person is doing. But you should be able to like have a self-belief, like I said. if I someone pays $22,000 and I can't afford it, it shouldn't be like a problem to me. It shouldn't be disturbing to me. I need to be able to build resources. I need to be able to build skills. It is more important for me to be an invaluable resource in the community rather than going to like beg a man which I want to get married to. It is so problematic. I believe that as a woman, you should focus on building yourself and not focusing on paying a huge amount of dowry to a man. That is my stand. I stand for the fact that a lady should be able to think about building herself personally, should be able to think about being a great leader, someone within the community that is respected, other than focusing on paying an expensive dowry. So that is what I will stand on. Like, it's a very difficult question to answer because, like, I'm trying to look at it in the cultural perspective. I don't want to like go against your culture, and I don't like so
So
because
yeah.
yeah, in my country, men are the ones that pay dowry instead, and the payment of the dowry is not, it's subjective. Some it is subjective. Some parents don't take the money; they just accept you as a man to marry their daughter and have a happy living home. But here in the UK, there is nothing like the dowry. Nobody pays dowry. I love you. You get married to the person that you love, and that is all. There is no dowry, except when there is divorce, that the law needs to come in place and the resources you guys have to share it equally. But yeah, so the question is quite difficult, but for me I believe like
So
the girl yeah.
so you delivered a very good answer because you try to maintain the culture. Basically, it's not a culture because you know that. So to pay the dowry, okay, the parent of the girls need to sell their own property. It's like need to sell their own land because we no because none of the parents have reserve money. So that's why it's now become a very good tragic moment for the girls because the girls didn't want to pay any kind of dowry. So they want respect from the partner. So they want respect from their husband. But the dowry practices is going to be more and more. So that's why this platform is created to make people aware about the bad culture of dowry and so many things. So that platform also built to make employment, make networking, make communication, and try to bring the researchers and youth mobilizers like you, so to share their knowledge and different culture of the different countries in that platform. So that's why.
Yeah.
So now we around come to the end of our session, but so you have delivered so many things for us, and you around 1 hour you have spent for us. So we are very honored for your presence, and also we believe that our audience also be benefited from your space what you delivered because it's about a Chevening Scholar from our country. Only 50 to 20 students every year selected. Out of 50 to 20, around 60 to 70% are girls. So
Yeah.
I have targeted that one of our uh, member from that platform will one day achieve a Chevening
Mm.
scholarship. So he or she will represent the Movement Against Dowry platform in the United Kingdom, and also Boning will be alumni of him or her. So what do you
No
say about
problem.
that?
No problem. No problem. If there is someone that wants to apply, I actually like lead a team of young people. I think I had like 5,000 people that applied this year under my mentorship, and I had about 50 people that were selected. So I'm currently like having mock interview with them from different countries. So they can feel free. Applications are launched in the month of August, and it closes in the month of October. So I can always review the essays. I do a lot of essay review and feedbacks and also mock interview. And our organization is going to be launching a call for country representative. Someone that wants to represent our organization in their country should be able to submit a project and why you want to represent our organization. And we can support your project financially and also with resources if you succeed to like pass the successful stage of the application. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And
Yeah,
also
thank
once
you.
again, um, sh- we are very proud that you attended our live discussion. So
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you.
Boning,
Thank
and
you too so
thank you
much
for
for
delivering the good lectures to us. And
yeah,
I
thank you.
also connect with you. and I also
Yeah.
text you after the program.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my stream here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but stay on the meeting. But from the online, I am in ending now.
Okay.